China will win the AI race, what Jensen Huang really meant. According to Reuters, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang told the Financial Times, quote, China is going to win the AI race. Later on X, he clarified that China is nanoseconds behind and that it's vital that America wins by racing ahead and winning developers worldwide. The message isn't surrender, it's strategy. Huang argues the U.S. should keep the world, including China's massive developer base, on an American tech stack, even as Washington restricts China's access to the most advanced chips. President Trump has said NVIDIA's top Blackwell should be reserved for American customers. The stakes go far beyond silicon. Whoever leads sets standards, safety norms, app ecosystems, and the rules others build on. If China surges with domestic hardware and open weight models, global prices could fall, software margins could compress, and influence could shift. The race isn't only about speed, it's about who writes the rules and whether American developers remain the center of gravity. Okay, what's the real message here? Jensen Huang of NVIDIA has a bias. He's looking out for his own company, but he legitimately worries about China becoming number one in artificial intelligence, because whoever gets first to that holy grail of general artificial intelligence could control not just all of computing, but all of commerce and the whole world. And that's scary. Let's dig a little bit deeper here. This is obviously a complex issue where there are legitimate schools of thought on a lot of different sides. On the one hand, you can make the case that China or that the U.S. should restrict Chinese access to our best technology. We don't want them to get ahead. On the other hand, that's simply motivating them to work even harder to develop their own proprietary technology, making it even better. It could ultimately strengthen them. Now, another case has been made by commentator Scott Galloway, who points out that his biggest fear is China really looks at this long term, and they think, how can we dominate the worldwide economy and destroy America? And the way to do it, he argues, is for China to simply release artificial intelligence, to release LLMs, to get better and better at it and just give it out for free. This would destroy American businesses who have to charge a huge premium for their artificial intelligence, their large language models. China could absorb cost hit initially because Chinese companies are not run for short-term profit. They're run for other larger strategic objectives. And if you're an American CEO of a high-tech company, your number one strategic objective is how do you book more revenue and profits in the next 90 days? So there is a bit of a mismatch here. Let's look at some more of the facts of the situation and the backdrop. So the U.S. does put limits on advanced NVIDIA chips. President Trump wants to reserve this Blackwell chip for Americans. And again, there is a legitimate case to be made for that, but there's also a case to be made that we want our stuff everywhere, selling everywhere, dominating the infrastructure, getting stronger as we go, building larger market share around the world, so we can't simply be destroyed. Now, the fear is if Chinese models scale, pricing power and moats in U.S. software weaken. I mean, if China just gets better and better at its artificial intelligence, and it really scales out, they could charge anything they want below U.S. prices, and U.S. companies are very vulnerable. And of course, the worst possible scenario for our entire U.S. economy is if suddenly they come up with something that's better than ours and it's free. Because let's not forget, all of the current gains of the stock market this year are from AI spending. If they're not making any revenue, it means our economy is either flat or in recession. That's not a good look for anyone in the United States. It's not a good look for your 401k, my retirement, anyone's stock portfolio. So it's very much a legitimate concern. What can be done? Now, the United States cannot be like China, where the government is making huge decisions, allocating billions and billions of dollars in various sectors. We're not ever going to be quite that much of a command authoritarian economy, but we could be smarter. We could absolutely be smarter. And Jensen Huang is someone to be listened to. I mean, he's head of a $5 trillion company. He's created more market cap. He's created more shareholder value in a shorter period of time than any other human being in the history of the world. So I do think you have to listen to him carefully when he speaks. Even if you think his constant wearing of a leather jacket, even in warm weather, is silly, he is a very serious and wildly successful person. What is going to happen? Is the real battle going to be between China and the United States? Time will tell. We'll be following this case very, very closely. Thanks so much for watching. We have a lot of stories coming up today. If you're new to Filtered, here's what we're about. I look at the top, typically 5 business stories, technology stories, and culture stories of the day, and then filter it through the communication lens and filter it through the prism of communication and personal development skills, all with the goal of improving you, making you more successful in your professional life and your personal life. So it's kind of a blend between news show, news analysis, and personal development. That's what makes it unique. My pledge to you is spend a little time with me each day, and you'll learn more about the world, but you'll also improve yourself so that you actually get better at all kinds of communication skills and personal development skills. The lesson here, of course, is when you speak in a way that makes people think, okay, you're looking out for something beyond yourself. Jensen Huang is not just talking up his book here. He's framing his arguments in terms of an entire society, the entire worldwide economy, and that is in part why he is extremely credible.